2% lidocaine, that's something we've seen out there. Okay. So there is a formula. Formula number one you're going to deal with is percent grams over 100 mils. Okay. Now, if I've got 2% lidocaine as an example, it can be 2% anything, drug doesn't matter. I'm going to take this percent sign and I'm going to put whatever percent this was in that spot. Okay? To start the formula off. So that leaves me with 2%, which is 2 grams. Okay? 2 grams per 100 mils. How many milligrams are there in 2 grams?
Wait, what?
How many milligrams are there in 2 grams?
1,000. 2,000.
2,000. Okay? 2,000 milligrams per 100 mils. Bust off a couple of zeros. That leaves me with 20 milligrams per milliliter as a concentration for anything that's 2%. Okay? When I say concentration, I mean something that is per 1 milliliter. It may come supplied 10 milligrams per 5 mils, but the concentration is 2 milligrams per mil. Everybody tracking on that? Mm-hmm. Okay. So 2% whatever is 20 milligrams per mil concentration every time. So let's do 5%. 5% dextrose, let's say. Okay? How many grams is that?
5.
It's 5 grams per 100 mils. Okay? And that's going to be how many milligrams?
5,000.
5,000 milligrams per 100 mils. And then bust off a couple of zeros, and that's 50 for 1, right? So it's a concentration of 50 milligrams per mil every time for a 5% solution.
Well, the 5% or the percentage, what is it out of? Because, like, you know, percent.
5% of that solution is this drug.
But, for example, like, on the weight of percentage, for example, 2% would be like 0.02. So what is the percentage coming out? Like, what number?
Don't look at it like that. That's going to confuse you.
Stick that number in 100
You got
ml.
100 mil.
It's 2%.
5%.
2%, straight up. Okay? If you start breaking it out into other areas, it's going to confuse you because it's not what we're trying to do. See what I'm saying? Yeah, I could take the left-hand road and go down that road, but I don't want to because that's not where I'm going. I'm going down the right-hand road. Okay? So let's go down this road. 2% is 2 grams per 100 mils. Straight up. Okay, just ingrain that. All right? So, every time you have something 2%, the concentration is always going to be 20 milligrams per mil. Every time you have something 5%, concentration is always going to be 50 milligrams per mil. Want to know the shortcut?
Add a 0.
5% times 10 is 50 milligrams per mil.
What if it was 0.09?
Then it's 0.09 times 10, which is 9 milligrams per mil. Every single time. I had to show you this to show you how it works. Okay. So if I have 3.5%, what's the concentration?
35 milligrams per mil.
35 milligrams per mil. Multiply 3.5 times 10. Don't move decimals. Multiply by, or you can move decimals.
Yeah.
Don't add zeros. That doesn't always work. If I add a 0, it's still 3.5. Okay, got to move decimals. All right, so multiply this times 10, which is 35, then make it milligrams per mil. That's the shortcut to get the concentration.
Mm-hmm.
So if I've got 50% dextrose, which is D50, right? What's the concentration on 50% dextrose? 500 milligrams per mil. You wonder why they get a sugar high after we give it to them. That's a lot of sugar. Okay. Everybody cool with that?